Okay, so this is the last game time for when the Kings were in the playoffs. As you can see, it's Friday, May 5th, 2006, and they're playing the San Antonio Spurs. This glow stick right here actually is not from this specific game. As you will see, there are rally tiles for this game. The glow stick was from game 3. The Kings won on a buzzer beater in that game. But let's go ahead and open this up and see what's in it. So first we can see that there's a ad for AM/PM, which I believe you could only find at Arco gas stations. And of course the Kings arena is Arco Arena. I guess Lunner was a phrase back then, apparently. So some interesting facts that they have here are they were facing each other for the first time with the Kings and the Spurs in this playoff series. Also, interestingly, was Kevin Martin was a perfect 27 of 27 from the free throw line in the series thus far. Mike Bibby is doing way better at home than on the road. And here's interesting, Sacramento became only the 12th team in NBA playoff history to win 2 games in a series as the number 8 seed against the number 1 seed, which of course, this is in 2006. So this is before the Warriors' We Believe year. Turning the page. Interestingly here, the Kings' 8th straight trip to the NBA playoffs, which of course that was the last time that happened for a while. And like I said before, they're rally rags as opposed to this glow stick here. And then as we turn the page here, we can see the Kings lineup. We have Ron Artest, as you can see here, who of course is now Meta World Peace. Mike Bibby was still on the team, my favorite Kings player. And if we look at some of the stats down here, Bonzi Wells just absolutely went off, 80% from 3, averaging 24.4 points a game. So he was absolutely going off in this series. We can also see Kenny Thomas was on the team, who's now, of course, a guest on the pre- and post-game shows for the Kings. And then we have Kevin Martin right here, who hit the game-winning shot in Game 3 of this series against the Spurs. This is a very cool picture here of Arco Arena. And although it was an old building, it was a very loud building, and some good Kings basketball was played at Arco Arena. Also, Zach LaVine surprisingly said it was his favorite arena because it reminded him of college, so that's kind of funny. And then we see the Spurs lineup, which isn't really that notable. Of course, you have Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Bruce Brown, Brent Barry. They did not win the championship this year in 2006, but they did win in the previous year, 2005, and the next year in 2007. Also interesting here is we have at the time, future king, Beno Udre, and he will be a king in a couple of years from this Game Time publishing, and unfortunately he will not experience more playoffs when he will be a king. And I do not have this very cool Brad Miller pin right here, so I guess I did not spend $100 at the team store that day, unfortunately, because that's a very cool pin. The next page is just more ads, and the last page is, I don't know who T.R. Dunn is, but I guess he was an assistant coach. Another AM/PM ad, which buffet, I don't know, another word they made up. So that is the last game time from the Kings' last playoff game.